And if you have broken your scaphoid and this is why you're watching it, keep positive, keep with it, crack on with it. And you know, I've been told that with the ligaments and everything, it's about a 2-year journey, so we will get there. I can hold that weight. Oh boy. Are we rolling? We're rolling. Hello, and thanks for watching again. I haven't made a video in a little while and I'm gonna make some more videos. Massive thank you to all the comments as well. I've been getting a lot of comments on Instagram, sending me messages. I don't reply to all of them just because I haven't got enough time. Maybe I'll miss them, I'm quite busy. But the general gist is that people are happy with my videos and also enjoying the content of things that I'm doing, because they don't, like they said, there's not much out there. So I think I'm gonna make some more videos with the messages that I have received. People are like, I don't really know what exercises work, and especially all the exercises online are from physios or doctors. They're not from actual people that had anything wrong with their scaphoid. If you don't know what happened to me anyway, and you're watching and have no background information, watch my first video. But it's a broken scaphoid. I've got a screw in it. I broke my carpal bones. I ripped my ligaments. I've had pins in it and everything, and a dislocation. So it's quite a big series of events. But what a lot of people with scaphoid injuries have similar. Just scaphoid injuries have similar side effects from the injury. So in this video, I'm going to go through what I think helped, exercises that I've done and what I'm still doing and what I think was beneficial for me. Also, I'm going to show you where I am now with like movement and what I've been able to achieve recently after 7 months since the surgery. And I'm going to talk about things that I feel for myself have benefited me. And I'm going to post more videos. I'm going to try to post a video of my actual regime. For the first 3 months, I did every day. I did about 45 minutes to an hour of physio mixed with training. I don't have a microphone. I bought a microphone, so if it sounds a bit dodgy, my microphone broke because it was a cheap one from Amazon, so I'm going to try to buy a new one. It's a bit windy, so you might hear some wind. Also, I need to get a proper tripod. I've got it like popped up on a plant pot, and it's not the best, so I might get a tripod to do some actual filming. But yeah, let's start. So first of all, stuff that I found was beneficial for me. One thing, and a huge thing that I think is really important, is positivity and getting straight into it. I found that using my hands straight away and positivity worked brilliantly. Another thing is diet. I started consuming a lot of meat. I think I spoke about this on the last video, but I'm going to do a recap. I started consuming a lot of meat, a lot of red meat. I consume a lot of meat anyway. I started craving milk. I started eating unpasteurized, unhomogenized cheese as well, just to get a lot of fats in me. And drank a lot of water. I cut out caffeine and alcohol. Still to this day, I minimize alcohol. I drink occasionally, but I minimize it. And caffeine, I'm actually trying not to drink any coffee either. So we'll see how that goes. Sunlight. Massive fan of sunlight, and I believe going out and getting some sun. There's loads of stuff out there about what sun does to your body, but I feel great after sun, and I think that worked well with my limp wrist. Ice baths. I'll show you my ice bath and go into detail. Well, no, I'm not going to go into detail, but I've got 2 ice baths. I was doing cold plunges every day. Cold compression is amazing for broken bones and ligaments. I felt that after my ice bath, loads of good stuff was happening in my wrists. Everything kind of was tingling and opening up. If you don't have ice plunges or don't want to do an ice plunge, I think, you know, getting a bowl with cold water and ice and sticking your wrist in there or getting a cold compression. One of my clients told me about a cold compression thing that he bought. You literally wrap around a joint and it just keeps it circulating with ice water, I think. They look pretty wicked, but yeah, definitely ice plunges. Another thing I think helped me massively is just getting back to business. So I'm going to show you some stuff that I have been doing and still am doing. But just where I am now, it's 7 months since the surgery. I'm back to strength training, which is a massive thing. I was doing a lot of like mobility and light workouts, a lot of cardio workouts, but I'm back to literally half an hour ago, I was doing my some chest, some bench press, and I was back to kind of repping. I didn't go too heavy, I was doing about 70 kg, about 70, 80 kg, and I was repping that and my wrist felt solid. There was nothing wrong with it. All my feeling, if you watch my previous videos, you would know that I lost sensation in these two fingers from the injury. It was to do with my nerve. It's completely back. My nails were a bit funny, but they are back to normal, which is kind of weird. The scar's not too bad on both sides. When it comes to movement, I'll show you what I'm capable of, but it's been 7 months. This is my good hand, this is my bad hand. So kind of going sideways, not bad, right? It still feels tight. Everything I do with this wrist and this arm feels tight. Not pain, but uncomfortable. But it's in the brain. It's definitely in the brain, right? So that's not bad. Then when we go the opposite way, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. You know, it's not completely back to normal, but I can push my wrist there. So that requires a bit of work. This way, you can see that I have this lump in my wrist, which kind of makes it look a bit funny. But I'm back with a vengeance with this position. I'm doing push-ups. It's not affecting my push-ups. I'm doing yoga poses. That is good. In fact, I'll say that this arm feels tighter than this arm because of the amount of work I've been doing on this arm. Obviously, the rest of my muscles, forget my wrist, the rest of my muscles are weaker from not having, not training with heavy weights for a while. So when I'm doing exercise or doing yoga, this side's struggling a lot more, but we're getting there. My biggest problem is this way. I get stuck around here. And it feels here. I can feel it there, it hurts in those bones. Obviously the ligaments are, and it's still early days, the ligaments were really damaged, so, but you know, I'm working on that and hopefully we'll be able to get that back to normal. Surgeon and physio said that it's highly unlikely. Screw them. I think we'll be able to get there. So that's kind of where I am. Dexterity of the hand is 100% back to normal. Grip strength is really good. I'm not having any issues with grip strength. The only issues I'm really having is, you know, mobility is limited in my strength. Sorry, I'm looking in the mirror. The strength is limited. So kind of holding heavy weight in a position like this is difficult. And that's kind of where I am. Ice, sun, positivity, food as well. I think you need to get a lot of protein in, what I found out. Dairy as well, milk. I wanted to find raw milk, but I can't find raw milk. I'm in Cambridge, and I can't find raw milk anywhere, so I've just been drinking full fat milk. Cheese, carbohydrates, cut out alcohol, cut out coffee, and just crack on with it. Got my yoga mat out. Right, so I'm going to show you what I'm capable of doing with my wrist and then a few exercises. So the first thing is push-ups. I got told by the surgeon that getting full push-ups will be very difficult from now on without pain. Rubbish. 7 months, I've been doing a lot of yoga. I started obviously stretching my wrist a lot. Let me get into this position. My wrist a lot. So if I twist my arms in and bend forward, my bad arm is a lot more tense, but I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can. Yeah. So my wrist is a lot, yeah, it's strong. It feels good. If I get into a push-up position, I have no problems doing push-ups. Even if I come right onto my arms and do a bit more like tricep push-ups, it feels good. So I've got no issue with that at all. Zero. Little bit of stiffness, a little bit of pain, but 7 months in, back to push-ups. Now, body weight as well. I can hold pretty much most of my body weight on my hand without it feeling effed. So if I just get into like a basic position, I can hold that weight, oh boy, right in my bad wrist. Obviously I'm shaking because I've just started really getting into that position and playing around with it, but that's kind of what I wanted to do. So with the strength of the wrist, wicked. It's there, it's where I need to be. Obviously my biggest problem is, that's my normal wrist, is getting this up. So what I need to do is work on that. So that's kind of where I am with kind of strength and what my wrist is capable of. I hope that kind of makes sense. And let me show you a few exercises that I find personally very beneficial and what I think helped me massively. Before I do that, let me show you my ice bath, because I think ice baths are super important. Sorry about the state of my garden in the wind. I've got an oak barrel, but this thing, it's called a Lumi Spa. They're like, in the UK, they're about 80-90 quid. I used to get my oak barrel, but I stopped getting in my oak barrel just because, look at that sun as well, get that sun on you. But I stopped getting my oak barrel because this is easier to clean, it's easier to maintain, and it's just a little bit more comfortable than climbing into, you can't see between all the rubbish, into my oak barrel over there. Right, so exercises that worked for me. Right, so exercises that worked for me. This is a bit booky. You can see my whole setup. Right, so what I found really helped was just gripping stuff. So a massive thing is just gripping a can. This is just like an empty hairspray can or something a little bit heavier. I found was super beneficial. So what I first started was just by squeezing the object and also moving it around. So that was a huge thing. When I first did my injury, I was barely able to grip it and barely able to do anything. So I found moving around like this and exercising it and just getting all of that strength back in was super beneficial. So just getting it moving was a huge thing. I'm going to do a separate video of exactly going into more depth of what worked for me. Another thing what I'm doing now is grip strength. So like just getting like this is just 5 kg, and just twisting it with my wrist just helps strengthen all of that. Another thing is just those wrist curls, which I thought was super good. Now, with my good wrist, you know, I can twist that and work with the strength. Bad wrist, gripping that was difficult. It took me ages just to be able to grip a weight. Now what I'm working on is, I can't get it all the way up. I just don't think this is easy with this wrist. With the wrist that sustained injury, Oh, yeah, it's nowhere as strong. So it's kind of working on getting that grip strength back and getting that movement back. So that's one thing I am working on. Another huge thing that I think was massive was just opposing force work training. So what I implemented a lot as well was that I would put my wrist under and I would just try to, as hard as I can, push down and then push up and then push sideways. A resistant band around that really helped as well, because that gave that a little bit of I'll show you in a video, on another video, a bit of movement. So those were very important. Another thing is what I think is just mentally and visually really important in opening it up. And none of the physio and the surgeon didn't recommend this for me. I actually just doing yoga, I think you learn to open up your body a little bit, and this made sense to me. And I found this being one of the main moves or exercises that gave me the most mobility, or opened up my wrist the most there and then. I could see it and feel it opening up. If I get a bench, well, this is pretty sick actually. It's like a proper video. I'm gonna make more videos. This is a proper video. So one thing I would do is I would go on a coffee table or a bench, and I would just put my wrist. So when I first started, my wrist wouldn't move lower than this. So what I would do is I would just force my wrist down and get a bend in there. And once I go to what I can do max, that's as much movement I currently have now, I would then just take 5-10 minutes of breathing and just slowly working that, allowing that mind to body, because I think a lot of it is in the mind to body connection, just opening up and breathing into it. It might be garbage, but automatically I can see I get a lot of opening up within that whole joint. And then the same, I will do the opposite this way and just lean forwards and allow that to just stretch and open up. Same this way, I put my wrist like this, come down, try to keep my wrist flat on the bench, and just allow, I can feel that in the bone, but just allow it to come up, and the same opposite ways. So that was a huge thing that I found mentally benefited me. If we go back down, I'll show you another thing that I think was huge. I saw it on a YouTube video of, I've forgotten his name, I can't even find it now, I was trying to look for it earlier, a YouTube video of a guy doing a lot of wrist strength training, but he did this exercise to open up all the bones in your wrist, and I implemented it and I found a lot of gain from that. Let me just quickly set it up. With a resistant band, I got like a bench, I put some weight on it just to stop it from moving. If you loop the band around the object with a weight, I then would put my wrist, I'll be on the other side, but put this where the wrist is and with the wrist joint, stretch it so you've got that pulling against your wrist, so you can feel it all there, stretching and opening up. Let me double check you can see that. Bit amateur video, but screw it. So do that so you can feel it all opening up, and then you literally lean back, forwards, Obviously, I do it with some stronger resistant bands now, but lean back, forwards, and really stretch this. I get a lot of stretch on that, and just get that, just pulling the opposite way, and that just kind of releases everything that is in my wrist. So yeah, that's, I guess, the end of my beautiful masterpiece. Hopefully that gives you a bit more of an insight in what I'm doing. I am gonna make more videos more often because I've been neglecting it, and I think there is a curiosity of, just from you guys watching it, especially out myself, these videos give me a good reference point. I write down everything I do day by day in my journal, in my book. So I have reference points. I might talk about that later. I'm going to do a video of what exercises I found helped best. They're not like doctor recommended exercises, but something I did. So I do my whole regime. And I'm going to just make some more general videos of, I think I'll do one on my diet or what I did on the morning regime. Also, I'm gonna make this is bonus. This is a bonus video. If you don't care, switch off now. But also, I bought some, since my wrist injury, I've started doing really weird stuff. I did weird stuff before my wrist injury, but it's kind of like supercharged it with like just my general body mobility and health. So I've started doing some weird stuff, like I do a lot more breathing exercises. I do a lot more stuff outdoors, and also I've started like wearing barefoot shoes and all that creepy, hippie, weird stuff. So I'm gonna make a few more videos, I think, relating in other subjects other than my wrist, just because it's a bit of fun. I'll try to edit this video so it isn't so long, because it's felt like I've been doing this video forever. Other than that, peace and love, happiness. Thank you for watching. Feel free to send me any messages, because there's people sending me messages, and if I don't reply, I'm sorry. And yeah, get back to business. And if you have broken your scaphoid and this is why you're watching it, keep positive, keep with it, crack on with it. And you know, I've been told that with the ligaments and everything, it's about a 2-year journey, so we will get there. Bang, love.